Growth is not always comfortable. It requires you to face parts of yourself that you may have ignored for years, limiting beliefs, old wounds, habits that no longer serve you. But each time you make the conscious decision to evolve, to rise above your circumstances rather than being defined by them, you elevate your entire existence. Your mindset changes, your standards rise, and your life begins to align more closely with your values and desires. This internal evolution naturally begins to shift your external world. You attract healthier relationships because you've become emotionally healthier yourself. You create opportunities because you've developed the confidence and discipline to pursue them. You bring more peace and stability to your home, your workplace, and your community because you carry those qualities within you. People begin to feel safer, more inspired, and more uplifted in your presence, not because you're trying to impress them, but because you're living from a place of wholeness. What's truly powerful is that your healing and growth give others permission to do the same. When people see you choosing to rise above your past, to forgive, to set boundaries, to strive for more, they are encouraged to look inward and make their own changes. Your transformation becomes a silent example, a living proof that change is possible and that there is strength in vulnerability, courage in self-work, and freedom in personal accountability. Focusing on your healing and growth isn't a selfish act. It's a form of service. Because the better you become, the more good you are able to do, the more peace you find, the more peace you can spread, and the more love you give yourself, the more love you have to give to the world. Celebrating small wins helps build momentum and self-trust. In the pursuit of growth and success, it's easy to overlook the little steps that lead to big changes. Many people are conditioned to only acknowledge progress when it comes in large, noticeable milestones. A job promotion, a degree, a major goal achieved. But the truth is, real transformation happens through consistent, everyday effort. It's in the quiet, often unseen victories that the foundation of lasting success is built. When you learn to recognize and celebrate these small wins, you not only motivate yourself to keep going, but you also reinforce the belief that you are capable of change. Each time you take a small step, waking up earlier than usual, saying no to something that drains you, completing a task you've been avoiding, choosing a healthy meal, practicing patience in a tough moment, you are demonstrating discipline, awareness, and progress. These are not insignificant acts. They are signs of personal growth. And by pausing to acknowledge them, you teach your brain to associate effort with reward. This helps create a cycle of positive reinforcement where your actions become habits and your habits shape your identity. Celebrating small wins also plays a vital role in building self-trust. When you set a goal, follow through, and then take a moment to reflect on your success, no matter how minor it may seem, you are proving to yourself that you are reliable. You begin to see yourself as someone who follows through on commitments, who can be counted on to make good decisions. That growing sense of trust strengthens your confidence and makes it easier to take on bigger challenges over time. Too often people dismiss their progress because it doesn't look like someone else's highlight reel. They compare their beginnings to someone else's finish line and become discouraged. But when you focus on your own path and measure your growth by your own standards, you begin to appreciate just how far you've come. What once felt difficult becomes easier. What once scared you now feels manageable. And that shift, however gradual, deserves recognition. Small wins also keep you grounded in the present. Instead of constantly chasing a distant future, you begin to find joy and meaning in the now. You celebrate the effort, the process, the little breakthroughs. This mindset not only boosts your mental health and motivation, but also makes the entire journey more fulfilling. Because life isn't just about the big moments, it's about the accumulation of the little ones that shape who you become. Being focused on yourself attracts the right people, opportunities, and energy. When you make the intentional choice to turn your attention inward, working on your mindset, your goals, your healing, and your growth, you begin to radiate a different kind of presence. People can feel when you are at peace with yourself, when you're grounded, and when you're not seeking validation from the outside world. There is something incredibly magnetic about someone who is self-aware, purpose-driven, and emotionally stable. Without even trying, you begin to draw in connections and opportunities that reflect the work you've done on yourself. This happens because energy speaks louder than words. When you're constantly looking outward, seeking approval, chasing relationships, or trying to fit in, you often compromise your values, drain your energy, and find yourself in situations that don't truly align with who you are. But when you focus on becoming the best version of yourself, you begin to align with a higher frequency, one that naturally repels what no longer serves you and attracts what does. You stop chasing and start attracting. You no longer feel desperate for attention or connection because you've learned to give those things to yourself first. That shift in energy is powerful. Focusing on yourself also helps clarify what you want and what you're willing to accept. When you know your worth, you set better standards. You begin to recognize the difference between genuine connections and shallow distractions. You learn to say no to relationships and opportunities that don't support your growth. As a result, you make space for the right ones to come in, those that match your energy, respect your boundaries, and support your evolution. The same applies to opportunities. When you are focused on developing your skills, building your mindset, and committing to your goals, you naturally create momentum. People begin to notice your dedication, your consistency, and your clarity. Whether it's a job offer, a creative collaboration, or a life-changing idea, opportunities tend to find those who are already moving forward with purpose. You don't need to beg or force your way into anything. You simply attract what aligns with the energy you consistently put out. Moreover, focusing on yourself fosters a deep sense of authenticity. You're no longer living to impress others or meet external expectations. Instead, you're living in alignment with your true self. And that authenticity becomes your greatest filter. The right people, those who resonate with your values and energy, will gravitate toward you. The wrong ones will naturally fall away. And that's not a loss, that's clarity. This principle isn't about perfection or pretending to have it all figured out. It's about being committed to your own journey and growth in a way that is real and consistent. The more you focus inward, the more your outer world begins to reflect that inner work. The people who enter your life, the opportunities that arise, and even the peace you experience are often the result of doing the internal work first. When you become someone who values and invests in yourself, you naturally invite the kind of life that mirrors that same level of value and respect. Consistency in self-focus leads to lasting change and fulfillment. One of the biggest misconceptions about personal growth is that it happens overnight or through sudden bursts of effort. The truth is, meaningful transformation is rarely instantaneous. Instead, it is the result of sustained attention and daily commitment to yourself over time. When you consistently focus on your own development, whether through habits, mindset shifts, or emotional healing, you build a foundation that can support lasting change and deep fulfillment. Consistency means showing up for yourself even when it feels hard, even when progress seems slow or invisible. It means choosing your growth every day, regardless of distractions or setbacks. This steady commitment creates momentum, which is essential for overcoming obstacles and resisting the urge to give up. When you are consistent in focusing on yourself, you develop trust and confidence not only in your abilities but in your process. You learn that growth isn't linear. There will be highs and lows, wins and challenges, but what matters most is your dedication to keep moving forward. This mindset helps you avoid discouragement and embrace patience, knowing that each step, no matter how small, is contributing to your overall journey. Moreover, consistency in self-focus helps you build resilience. Life is unpredictable and challenges will arise, but when you have established strong habits of self-care, reflection, and intentional living, you are better equipped to handle difficulties without losing sight of your goals. You cultivate a stable inner foundation that supports you through ups and downs. Lasting change also comes from integrating your growth into your identity. When you consistently practice self-awareness, set boundaries, prioritize your needs, and celebrate your progress, these actions become part of who you are, rather than just something you do temporarily. This integration leads to a sense of fulfillment that goes beyond external achievements. Fulfillment arises from living authentically, aligned with your values, and committed to your own well-being. The power of consistency is that it turns abstract aspirations into tangible realities. Dreams become plans, plans become habits, and habits become a lifestyle. And as you sustain this focus on yourself, you find that your life begins to reflect the peace, purpose, and joy you've been cultivating internally. In essence, consistency is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's the quiet, daily effort that fuels profound transformation. So when you commit to focusing on yourself regularly and intentionally, you're investing not just in temporary change, but in a lifetime of growth and fulfillment.